Hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, responding to a hot take on the internet, which has cropped up in a recent news article and interview with the great Roger Waters of Pink Floyd fame, who has a little something to say about The Weeknd and Drake, apparently. Thank you to Stereo Gum for bringing the heat on this little article over here reporting that the Globe and Mail, in a recent interview with Waters that I guess they caught in the midst of some tour dates that he was doing, he observes in the interview, "What's interesting about you being here with me now is that none of the newspapers in Toronto sent anybody to review my shows. What I'd like to know, what I'd like you to ponder on, and maybe ask your readers, is if they have any theories as to why that may be." As much as I do enjoy Pink Floyd, and politically I do really support and I do mess with a lot of Roger Waters' like, is it like a part of the natural order of boomers that when you reach a certain age, like, you have to get like conspiratorial about stuff no matter what that stuff is? Like, newspapers aren't coming out to review my shows. Why do you think that is? The reporter apparently said that some people were assigned to the Weeknd's show, but that got canceled because of the internet outage that happened in Canada recently. Side note, I feel really bad for any of you guys up there who couldn't watch my videos, my content for that day. Kissy for you. But yeah, Waters goes on to say, "And my show was for 2 nights. I have no idea what or who The Weeknd is because I don't listen to much music. People have told me he's a big act. Well, good luck to him." I don't know if Abel needs too much in the way of luck past this point. I think he's good on luck. I've got nothing against him. Would it not have been possible to review his show one night and then my show the other night? I mean, okay, you may in fact have nothing against the guy, but like, with that being said, you are talking a little bit too much about, you know, the man and your lack of familiarity with him, when really at the end of the day, like, this is kind of on the newspaper whether or not you get covered. Another thing to note is, like, newspapers don't really generate the kinds of profits that they used to, and as a result, like, they don't have as much staff, and often it is the music and culture writers who will either get cut first or are the most underpaid. That could also have a lot to do with whether or not your shit gets covered, and, you know, ultimately has nothing to do with how popular The Weeknd or any other artist is. So as this conversation is ongoing, Waters says about his, you know, own interview and interaction here that he's looking forward to reading this in the pages of your newspaper. I'm not trying to make a personal attack. Like, oh my God, when you preface it like that, I don't hate the guy, but here's a whole sentence of me dismissing him. This is not me trying to make a personal attack here, but let me say something that would obviously be hurtful if it ended up getting isolated out and put in a headline. I'm just saying it seemed odd. And by the way, with all due respect to The Weeknd and Drake or any of them, I am far, far, far more important than any of them will ever be. However many billions of streams they've got, there is stuff going on here that is fundamentally important to all of our lives. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Roger Waters, please stick to politics. By what metric are you deciding and saying that you are far, far, far more important than The Weeknd or Drake? I get it. You've made some classic albums. You have a ton of influence. You're immensely talented. You have a unique and a distinct sound. And as an artist, I have all the respect for you in the world. But by that same token, like, The Weeknd and Drake are pretty fucking important, and yeah, they have billions of streams, but the thing is, those billions of streams aren't just like abstract numbers isolated in a vacuum that ultimately mean nothing. You're talking about 2 guys who essentially have, in their own respective stylistic lanes, creatively and aesthetically dominated the genres that they're in for the past fucking decade. When it comes to R&B conversations, you could literally discuss the ways in which R&B used to sound or used to present aesthetically pre and post Weeknd, considering the intense wave of popularity behind the alternative R&B trend of the 2010s, which, you know, Abel was at the forefront of. Like, no artists have had a chokehold on that genre in the way that he has since, like, Beyonce and Michael Jackson. Abel is most definitely deserving of the title of important important. The only degree to which you, Roger, may be more important than him is because like you just have like decades and decades on the guy, and give Abel 3 more decades and he may get there. And look, everything I'm saying about Abel goes doubly for Drake, and this is coming from somebody who is fairly critical of many of Drake's releases. But like Drake has had an immense impact on the current state of hip hop as well, and you could have a discussion as well in terms of like what hip hop was sounding or is sounding like pre and post Drake. Now, of course, like neither of these men are in a vacuum. The Weeknd and Drake have their influences and have their predecessors and have, certain artists and records that, had they not exist, would they be here today? That's true, but as is also the case for freaking Roger Waters and Pink Floyd, because no artist is an island. And yes, I appreciate all of the influence and success that Waters has seen over the years, all of the creativity that he's showcased in every record that he's been a part of, but I just don't really see how he gets off saying that he is far, far, far more important than The Weeknd or Drake are or maybe will ever be. Both of them, I think, have many, many, many more years of popularity left in them, and I'm looking forward to, especially from Abel, hearing some good records as a result of that. And hopefully, we hear some more good records from you as well, Roger. But, I don't think we need to be in an importance competition because the papers aren't covering me like they used to. So there you go. I'll say that. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to do. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Hit us up in the comments and let me know what you think about this hot take from Mr. Roger Waters, and I'm sure you will. You're the best. Anthony Fantano, music, Drake, Pink Floyd, The Weeknd, forever.